What is going on, you guys? I felt the need to jump on here. We're going to cover Adonai, AD Mitchell, and kind of all the slander a little bit that came out, and just the utter bull that kind of flung out at people during the draft process. We're going to talk about that on the No Horsing Around podcast. Okay, you guys. So I wanted, as the title says, right, defending AD, right? I wanted to get on here and I kind of wanted to talk about the defense for Adonai Mitchell, right? He, we get the information, we see Ballard come out and just rage against anonymous reporting. It's important to point out, yes, a lot of people are going to be like, well, he's defending his guy, right? He did do the same thing for CJ Stroud last year with the S7 cognition score and how they were just ripping him. People were in the media calling him stupid, things like that, right? So he has ripped it before, and he ripped it for a player that wasn't his. He did do it here. But let's kind of delve into this a little bit, right? Let's look at what the critiques were coming out. There was a lot of critiques, and rightfully so. Like, I can't remember if we said it on here. We discussed his lack of effort sometimes on plays that weren't coming to him. But the biggest red flag that people threw up was off-field issues, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I hear off-field issues, I'm thinking legal issues, drunk driving, getting in fights with teammates, not applying himself in class, doing things like that, right? Like that's kind of, you're thinking big character issues. And come to find out, that from the anonymous scouts, the off-field issue that we hear about with AD Mitchell is twofold, right? We hear about, well, he didn't interview well, he came across pretty poorly in the interview process, which I think as Colts fans, we can nix that because, I mean, granted, they're not going to show us if he did, but they show, in the what used to be with the next pick, which is just leading up to draft stuff now, they show him in the room with Reggie at the combine, in the meeting, how he discussed what he did. They played the full phone call too. Let's discuss that too. They played the full phone call. A lot of people latched onto him saying he was pissed, right? But they played the full one. And hearing him say, like, y'all, I'm going to prove you guys to be the smartest people in the room. Like, you see all those things. So, let's nix throughout the process that he was a bad interview and gave off bad vibes, right? Now let's go to the big one that not just myself, but I think a lot of people probably have issues with, which is coming out for off-field issues in regards to his type 1 diabetes, right? Like I pulled this up. I wanted to make sure that I said this correctly. On a pre-draft report, it cited that Mitchell, a type 1 diabetic, didn't manage his condition well, and that could be the cause of friction. And I quote, when his blood sugar's off, he's rude, he's abrasive, he doesn't pay attention in meetings. It's why you get really, really shitty character reports coming out of Georgia and Texas. But when his stuff is normal and they get him normal by lunchtime, he's on at practice, high energy, best practice player, loves football. I'm going to sit here for a second because you read through that. When his blood sugar's off, he's rude and he's abrasive and he doesn't pay attention. Okay, so, I'm going to let behind the door. Like, I know plenty of diabetics. I think most of us do. And when their blood sugar's off, they're extremely cranky. They're extremely rude and they're very abrasive because they don't feel well, right? So you're citing something that everything deals with. And he doesn't pay attention to me because he doesn't feel well. When they get him right, he's great. He's at practice. He's high energy, best practice player. Okay. AD Mitchell, I believe, is 21 years old. And he is a kid when it comes, just in general, just in life, right? He's a young adult dealing with something that is, I don't know about you guys too, it's extremely difficult to deal with. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I mean, I dealt with kids that had this, and it's a it's a it's a difficult and a hard thing to wrap your head around as a young man, that you have to do things correctly. Now, at Texas and at Georgia, they're saying that when he was off, and that's probably true. But to use this particular one, like Ballard said, you don't put your name on it, you just throw it out there, which makes it super simple. Anybody can criticize anybody if you're not willing to own up to what you're saying, right? It's like, here, there's a face with the name with a click. If you got an issue with me, put it in the comments, and we don't have any problem with that, right? But with this, you have anonymous people saying it. It's a crappy way to go about it, and it does suck. It sucks. It's horrible. Like Ballard said, this is supposed to be an amazing time for these for these kids, for these young men achieving their dream, and you're tearing down their character based on the fact that he struggled to maintain and kind of control his diabetes, get it in check. And it's just crazy. It's crazy that that's the red flag that's off the field, right? Do I think that he is the 11th best receiver in the draft? Absolutely not. Do I think that the Colts got a steal in the second round? Yes, because you look at all the mock drafts, and mock drafts are wrong sometimes, but he's a first round receiver. They get him in the second. They get him with a chip on his shoulder because of this stupid shit like this. So I don't know. I felt the need to come on here. I wanted to defend this. I feel like you're talking about a young man who's still understanding how to do this, and it is a difficult thing to do, and to ding him and call him out about his character because of it is just poor on my part. But I want to hear from you guys. What do y'all think? Do you think this is a character concern? I mean, you're also talking about he's going into the NFL where you're going to have nutritionists in the building who are going to help him maintain. Jay Cutler was a diabetic, right? Plenty of players play and they have diabetes and they handle it and they have help to be able to know what they're doing, right? So drop it I want to hear from you guys. Put it in the comments. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you guys defend it? Do you guys feel like it was out of line leading into the process? Yeah, I want to hear from you guys. And then please always make sure you like, share, subscribe. You're going to comment, all those great things, right? And as always, you guys, I love you. I know the Colts love you. I'm out.